What's up, guys? Flippin' Steve here. And what am I doing with an entire case of 2001 Upper Deck Golf? Sit tight, and I'll let you in on the secret. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, where tonight I want to talk about a few items that I've been picking up. Been thinking a little bit out of the box, not going too extreme, but just grabbing a couple items here or there. But before I even get into it, I just want to thank you guys for the continued support. We have eclipsed 100 subscribers. We're starting to work our way up and gain some momentum. It's getting exciting, just keeping me motivated to push this content out for you guys. Not like I needed any motivation, because I like doing it myself. I get enjoyment out of it. But as a token of my appreciation and gratitude for you guys, I'm going to give away this Zion Williamson Hoops rookie card from this year, 9.5 SGC Mint Plus. If you want the details on how you can win this, all you got to do is go back and watch my previous video released yesterday. I'll put a link down in the comments. So yeah, you can just go down, check the link, go back, watch the video, learn how you can win this Zion Williamson card. So believe it or not, at one time, the only cards that were popular to collect were baseball cards. I remember growing up, baseball was the only sport that people really collected. It wasn't, to my recollection, until around 1989 when Pro Set started printing cards and everybody started wanting Barry Sanders cards, that the NFL cards started becoming popular. And then around the early 90s when Hoops started printing cards and everybody wanted David Robinson items, basketball really started to pick up, and people, then they had to go back and they had to try to track down the rookie cards of the current stars and all-stars, in both sports. Also in hockey, in the early 90s, you had guys like Teemu Selanne and Pavel Bure, and hockey started getting popular. And then everybody wanted to go back and try to chase, the superstars, Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky, because those cards have been being printed for all those years, but were never really collectible, not to the extreme of baseball cards. So nowadays, you're talking 20, 30, even 40 years later in some cases, and I would never have imagined that NBA cards would be leading the charge, which seems to be the case. NBA is definitely the most popular. And none of us are psychic. We don't have a crystal ball. We can't see the future, and unfortunately, the invention of the time machine hasn't happened yet. How many of us would go back to 2000 and buy Tom Brady cards, 6th-round draft pick that's, going to go down as the greatest of all time? Or who would go back to 2001 and buy Albert Pujols, who was drafted in the 13th round? I'm sure he wasn't one of the top prospects on everybody's list. And even if you were to just go back to 2.5 months ago, who would imagine that just anything with the Chicago Bulls picture on it, would be flying off the shelves, for lack of a better term? So what I've done is, there's ways of trying to get ahead of the curve, whether you're trying to prospect out the next superstar player, or you're trying to follow a trend and go from one card brand to the next. What I've tried to do is I've just tried to think about what is possibly the next popular sport, because it has been baseball, and then football, and then basketball, and then hockey, and soccer is really starting to explode now. I mean, it's almost too late to even get into the soccer market. Soccer has just taken off so fast that the young stars like Kylian Mbappe are just already priced out. And the superstars, again, if you were to go back and look for those guys like Lionel Messi, those guys are even priced out. So what are some possibilities, and what are maybe some popular, sports that maybe could come on within a year, 2 years, even 5 years down the road? And I started thinking to myself, what can I buy now? And if you watch one of my mail day videos a couple weeks ago, you would have noticed I had picked up an SGC 10, what's considered a Roger Federer rookie card, Net Pro. Not a very high investment. I only paid like $30 for it. I mean, the grading fee is going to cost you anywhere from $10 to $15. So I figured, I would go ahead and just add this to my collection, because you never know what really could happen. And I saw another one of them come across eBay last week for the same price. So I actually went ahead and picked this one up too. So two of my recent pickups have been Roger Federer. He does have 20 Grand Slam wins. So, you know, that's the most all time. And as of right now, he's considered the GOAT in tennis. He isn't an American, so that could be a little bit of a drawback when it comes to, you know, collecting here in the States, you know, as far as his popularity goes. But if you do follow tennis, and he is pretty mainstream, people know who Roger Federer is. I just think that this is a good card to own, just in case. Of course, his arch rival would be Rafael Nadal, who has 19 Grand Slams. He's, you know, 3 or 4 younger than Roger Federer. You know, he could easily win 20 Grand Slams, especially because he owns the French Open. You know, I'm not a huge into tennis. I don't follow it a whole lot, but I do know the small things like this. There's only 2 of this card actually in the BGS Pop Report. So this is his Fleer Glossy, or Net Pro Glossy, I'm sorry. I'm used to saying Fleer because of the other sports. But this is his Net Pro Glossy, which is a hard card to find, believe it or not. And this would be a card that collectors would be looking for if tennis ever became a popular, you know, sport to collect. This would be one of the first cards that they would be looking for. And there's only 2 in the population report right now. And one of them's in my hands. I think I might have paid like $40 for it. Not too expensive, considering, you know, the potential that something like, you know, a card like this could hold. Now, those are some players not from the U.S. If you go back to when I was growing up, you know, in the 90s, of course, you're going to remember some of the American tennis greats, like Pete Sampras here. I got a Net Pro rookie here in a PSA Gem Mint 10. First of all, it's hard to even find these graded by PSA, let alone to find one in a 10. I picked this up for no more than 50 bucks, and he would be considered to probably be the best American tennis player of all time. I believe he has 13 Grand Slams, 13 or 15, something like that. Anyway, when he retired, he had the most of anybody in tennis. He has been, you know, since he's been passed by Federer and Nadal, of course. But still one of the all-time greats, and American. Or from the United States, which makes him collectible here. And of course, without Sampras, or Sampras would not have been who he was if it wasn't for this man here, which was Andre Agassi. Now, when you're talking tennis and you're talking accomplishments, you know, he did win 8 Grand Slams. However, he was more like a rock star of his age. I remember him being on television commercials, you know, shoe commercials. He was just popular. He was married to Brooke Shields, who was a supermodel. I mean, he was just, he crossed over out of tennis and into mainstream. He was the first guy to really blow up and just become a household name, and be popular in commercials and everything. I mean, just look at his look. He's rocking the mullet and the headband. I picked up 2 of these for 30 bucks. That's like 15 bucks a card. If I was to send these in to get graded, it would cost me more than that. So I figured, what do I have to lose? It's Andre Agassi. He's a pop culture icon. More so, you know, he was a good tennis player, but even more so for just his look and what he did for crossing tennis over, you know, into the mainstream. Now, those are considered as rookie cards, but I also picked this card up, and I remember actually having this when I was a kid. The Sports Illustrated for Kids card, which is actually printed a couple years before his Net Pro rookie card. I'm definitely going to send this in to have it graded, even if it comes back at graded a 4 or a 5. This is just, to me, something I want to have in my collection, and would be an awesome card to have for anybody who is an Agassi or tennis card collector, especially if, you know, tennis cards is something that became popular within the next, you know, 3, 4, 5 years. Just a cool little neat card to have, in my opinion, of course. So when I started the video out, I had a case of golf cards sitting up here. So of course, that was a little foreshadowing on some golf. I wanted to buy myself some Tiger Woods rookie cards. His stuff is already starting to get expensive, especially his upper deck, his 2001 upper deck, which is considered his rookie card. The PSA 10s are already up around the $200 mark, and golf hasn't even really gotten popular. And it is Tiger Woods. He is a pop culture icon, not just a sports player. Could be considered the greatest of all time in golf. Everybody knows who he is. You mention the name Tiger Woods, and people are going to know. Like I said, I was gonna buy a PSA 10 rookie of his. However, the other day, one of my friends texted me, and he was like, Steve, what kind of stuff have you been buying or picking up lately? And I told him, and he's a golf fan. He likes to golf. He likes to go golfing. And I told him I was looking to buy a Tiger Woods, but I didn't know if I wanted to pay $200 for a PSA 10. He immediately said, don't go and buy one of those. I have 3 cases of 2001 Upper Deck golf cards, and I will bring you a case to open, and you'll have some Tiger Woods cards. So I'm going to open some of those boxes and get myself some Tiger Woods cards to send in to PSA or SGC. And also, comment below, guys. Let me know if you would like to see me open a box of this on a video. I know it's golf, so a lot of people aren't attracted to it. They may not want to see it. It may be boring. But you can pull autos and relics and stuff out of here, and also Tiger Woods cards. So, yeah, if you would like to see something like that, in the future, just drop it in the comments. Let me know if you'd like to see me open some of these Tiger Woods or some of this golf. I've never opened any golf product before. Staying on the subject of golf, talk about Jack Nicklaus, who is another one of the all-time greats. This is an 81 Don Russ, which is also considered his rookie cards. He does have some various prints of different types of cards that go back to the 70s. This one is often listed as his rookie card. It's a near mint to mint 8. You often can find PSA 9s, but they always have a modifier on them, either an OC or a stain or something, which always knocks the card down. It's at least 2 more grades. So every time I see a 9 OC, it's really like a 6 or a 7, or a I'll see a mint 9 ST, and it'll have a stain on the back. And so I settled for a near mint to mint 8. I believe I paid $25 for this. And again, the price of the grading fee and just finding a card of an iconic player, it's just cool. Reminds me of my childhood. The Golden Bear, and just a cool card. And like I said, if people ever want to collect golf cards, he's going to be one of the players that people are going to hear about and want to go back and be like, oh, when did Jack Nicklaus have a card? And they're going to try to find these types of cards. And last but not least, and we're totally getting off the path of tennis or golf and all the major sports, but I got this card first of all because it's super hard to find, and because I really like it. Whether it ever becomes resellable or anybody ever has any interest in wanting to buy it off me, it's a card that I wouldn't mind keeping forever. And it's a 1990 Sports Illustrated for Kids Tony Hawk, BGS 8.5. I mean, these cards came in the centerfold of Sports Illustrated for Kids. You would get 9 cards on a sheet. They were perforated, so you'd have to tear them apart. And very few of these cards probably actually survived because they were in the hands of kids. They were in the center of magazines, and it wasn't easy to get them apart and keep them in one piece. I remember taking them apart all the time when I was younger and just ripping them and things like that. It really didn't care. Who would have imagined, again, going back and thinking, who would have imagined that grading cards would be so popular nowadays? But yeah, just a cool card. I absolutely, probably one of my favorite pickups over the past month, and I've bought some good stuff recently. This is just, Tony Hawk, considered the greatest skateboarder ever. made skateboarding popular, got his own clothing line, his own skateboard line. He started out as a teenager being sponsored by other skateboarding companies, and now he is like the king of all skateboarding. So yeah, that's all just some of the new interesting stuff. I'm trying to keep an open mind and just trying to stay ahead of the curve on a couple things. You know, I'm not going all out. I'm still buying basketball. I'm still investing in Tatum and Luka and, you know, the things that I want to flip and make money off of. But every once in a while, I'll pick up one of these and just tuck it aside in my box. Because you never know, you know, someday you'll look back and be like, man, I'm glad I picked up that card. So yeah, that's all I really got to show you tonight. Let me know what you guys think. Which one is your favorite? Do you like the Tony Hawk, the Nicklaus, you know, the Andre Agassi with the mullet? And maybe you were a Pete Sampras fan. And make sure you comment below and let me know if you want to see me open this golf up on the, you know, one of my future videos. Open up this box of golf cards. And make sure you go back to my previous video and learn how you can win this Zion Williamson 9.5 Mint Plus rookie card. Alright guys, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, turn on the notifications so you know when I'm going to be doing my giveaways. And until next time, good luck in your investing, and I'll see you later.